But anyways, I had the privilege of knowing Marcus from a father's point of view, because when he was born, I was 14. So it's like, you know, it was a very different perspective. And I had the privilege of knowing Marcus as a brother. And later on, I had the privilege of knowing Marcus as a business partner, and eventually my boss. He is the president of our company. So I'm just going to give you a couple of snippets of each of the new 1.0, 2.0, and on all the way down. When he was being announced to us, it was a Thursday night about 8:15. We had a Hitachi 19-inch television with a very cantankerous remote control. Her name was Nula. When I wanted to change the channel, Nula, go change the channel. No, I don't feel like doing that. Come on, honey, go change the channel. No, 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 let me hit me in the head. And then she'd get up and change the channel and watch something else. So we were watching the Cosby Show, and I was 13, and my mom and dad called us into the room. I'm like, when the commercial comes, and then the commercial came, and I walked over and talked to them, and they said, you know, Nula's been asking for a pet, and she's been complaining that we won't give her a dog, we won't give her a cat, and we won't even give her a new baby. And she was 9 at the time. Ironic, my parents wouldn't let us have a pet, and now they have a dog that belongs to Nula that they're watching because Nula won't, you know, she lives at home. So the irony is, my mom says, we're having a baby. I said, great, let me go back to the Cosby Show. And that was my 13-year-old perspective of Marcus. What can you say? As we went forward and Marcus gets born, the day he was born, I went with my mom and dad to the hospital, and Marcus was going to be born by C-section because of my sister. When she was a baby, she had wrapped the umbilical cord around her neck and created a situation which they had to get her out in a hurry, thank the Lord she lived. So Marcus was going to be born by C-section, and it was scheduled, so I went down and got my sailing credentials, which led us to later on a lot of sailing over the years, for the adventureship with Helen. They flipped the boat over this summer while we were sailing a catamaran. It was fun. So that was the day Marcus was born. So my perspective of Marcus was a little different, because at that stage, I was 14 and he was this baby, and there was a little bit of a father figure perspective, and I used him as practice, because I said someday I'm going to have kids, so I want to see what it's like to kind of, so I'd like to use to throw him in the air as high as I could without needing oxygen, and if he didn't break or anything happened to him, I said, okay, that's how high I could throw Isabella and David when they're born. And that's how we went. And as he got a little bit older, when he was about 4 years old, I went off to college. So everything he learned from 0 to 4, I had some good influences on, and I think I did a pretty good job. I used to wrestle with him, and he became a wrestler in high school, so I'm thinking that I had something to do with that in his early age. I used to play with him, we'd play some sports. I taught him to kick a soccer ball. He could kick a soccer ball before he could walk. This is the truth. So that was up until 4. At age 4, I went off to college, and I lost him, because for 5 years, I was in Grand Rapids, Michigan, traveling back and forth, and when I was home, I was working like crazy at my uncle's car dealership, so I didn't see him very much. And it didn't dawn on me until I got out of college when he was 9, how much I had missed in his development. And I like to think of that stage as the Marcus is a mini of my dad stage, because he developed all his bad habits. Any habits that he didn't get from me, he got at that stage. Now, he wears grandpa shoes. He does. If you walk around, he wears orthopedic shoes because dad's an engineer, mom's an engineer, and those are comfortable shoes, and that's what he learned between 5 and 9. My mom taught him some great things during that era. Marcus is neat. The only reason Helen would put up with anything is because Marcus is neat. Thank Mom. So that's that. I come back from college. I'm working really hard. I eventually got married to the lovely Deb. Where are you, Deb? Yay! And so that was another busy time. And Marcus went to high school, and when he was in high school, he did some pretty outlandish things. You know, they kind of like, who's this kid? With like, the teachers and stuff just didn't get it. It was very rambunctious, but it was very kind. So that was great. Later on, I had the privilege of standing at his high school, and these are things that he won't tell you. but he won the Coaches Award, which is a big award. It's not based on how good of an athlete you are. It's based on your attitude. It's based on how hard you work. It's based on all the great things. It's a big tall trophy. And I was very privileged to sit in the room while they said really great things about Marcus, things that he would never tell anybody, and I'm telling you that. And we're getting along. We're getting there. Finally, at some point, Marcus became my employee. He had worked at the Meadow Breeze Day Camp as a counselor for kids. And one summer, I said, "You're old enough now to drive. You should come work at the car dealership with me." And when you have a family business, you can't give any family member any kind of privilege because it ruins the morale and the rest of the employees. And we had about 10 or 12 employees at the time. So when Marcus showed up, I gave him the worst possible tasks. I took the stuff that nobody would touch. We bought junk motorcycles that had been in a storage warehouse for years. They had no wheels, they had no engines, they were just, nobody wanted to touch them. And I said, "Marcus, all summer, this is what you're going to sell." And he absolutely put on the best face, and when everybody was snickering behind his back, he sold every motorcycle on eBay to all over the country, people that were thrilled. And they were just pieces of motorcycles. And at that point, I said to myself, this kid is going to succeed in life because he has a great attitude, and I'm very proud of him. And this continued for 3 summers or so. Eventually, he moved to Chicago the first time. So I guess that's Chicago time. He was trading for a trading company, and I had a tough time. And this is the final thing that I wanted to share with you. It is embarrassing for me to say it, but I got to tell you because it's a great testament to Marcus's character. Marcus is 21 years old. It's 2008, and I call him up, and he says, "Marcus, I need a favor. I wonder if you could become the president of our new company. I got to restructure. You've worked for me for 3 years. You know what it entails. There's a little bit of risk. What do you say?" And I was asking him, knowing that he could very well say no, because even though he was 21, I was treating him like a real adult, because he had showed me the responsibility that he was. Whenever I needed something done, even though I had employees that had been around for years, I always asked Marcus, would he always get it done? No matter what, no matter how hard it was. And he said to me, before I answered, he said, "Do you need any money?" I said, "Well, you're 21 years old, how much money you got?" He said, "I got $10,000 from saving for my whole life." I said, "All right, so how much of that do you want to invest?" He said to me, $10,000. The next morning, he wired me $10,000, and he wouldn't take no for an answer. He became my business partner at that point, and he became the president of my company, and he became my boss. If you want to know about loyalty, you're looking at that right there. So raise your glasses. And I want to say, thanks to the Lord, protecting that guy through 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, until we got to Vista. God bless you both, and may He keep you, and may you be loyal to each other.
Cheers.
I like your tie.
For kids.
Oh yeah, that's
Marcus, I need you to hire me, okay? I need you to hire me, all right? I want to be like you when I grow up. Yes.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Well, yeah. Congratulations, Helen and
It's a pleasure to have this thing here. So much.
One of the best weddings.
Friends and family. We love you guys so much. It's such an honor to be here with you guys.
Hello, how are you? God bless the couple. Congratulations. Yeah, I saw somebody. Josh, thank you so much.
Is it true?
Yes, yeah. Always
the same guy.
same guy. Always being remolded.
It's the first time I'm hearing all this.
Yeah, backstories.
Getting the backstory.